And we're live. What is going on, everybody? My name is Nikki Smokes, joined by Bobby and Ryan. You are listening to the Sunday Night Prayer. Dante is late as usual. What do you expect from a 19-year-old fucking bastard? We got a great show today. We're going to be breaking down the NFC South. Last week we did the NFC East. It's going to be pretty interesting episode. I think we're all going to lean the same way when it comes to who's winning the division. No, Ryan's already shaking his head.
We are.
Ryan's got the Falcons.
I've got the max bet, the lock that will afford anything that you need for the rest of the summer, or I guess what would it be? Spring.
We're in the summer. We're in the summer.
Yeah, but
you're talking about
we can't cash.
That'd be winter.
Technically, I'd say 11 weeks to cash this bet.
What a tease! What a tease! What a tease!
It better not be the one that I'm thinking of too, because I have another one.
You're not going with the Bucks. You're not going with the Bucks to win.
I think I am.
Save the locks for the end. Let's go through.
I'm going with the Bucks to win, but this team I think is gonna have a really good year, and they're gonna hit their over pretty easily, in my opinion.
Let's go, Marcus Mariota.
There might be a thing though. I might have got a shitty line for them though. Like I think there's a chance that like the line I was looking at was way off because when I look at their schedule, I was so confused why it was so low. But
there's a lot of weird lines. My book sucks. All my props suck. Like my book is like
the book
absolutely
that I bet on doesn't even have like win totals. I had to go on Bovada, not even Bovada. I couldn't even find them on Bovada. I had to like look it up on just like an article and find it.
Blessed to live in a legal gambling state.
Yeah, it blows. Yeah. They actually gave us legal gambling in Florida for 2 weeks, and then the playoffs started, and they took it away. Pretty AIDS.
They were scared of you, bro.
AIDS.
They knew Nicky Smokes was in town.
They're getting cooked. Me and Ryan were absolutely cooking them. No losers, no losing weeks. Get bailed out every Sunday. Let's get into it, though. NFC South, you could call it the armpit of the NFL. I don't know. What's the armpit of the NFL? What's the
AFC
worst
South.
division in football?
AFC South, I'd say, yeah.
Easy.
AFC South.
I mean, the Jags and the Texans in the same division. You just can't go further than that.
Everything's so far away too. Like I feel like all the other divisions are way closer, except for like you got like Dallas and Philly in the same one. But like I mean, you got
Miami and their whole division.
Yeah, that too. But like that's more like it's in the same like kind of symmetrical area.
Dude, it really is ass. Like the AFC South is buns. Like that is a terrible division.
That's why you bet Colts to win the AFC South every year. I think you do that, don't you, Smoke?
Yeah, and then the Titans push. Like they end up pushing every single week.
Yeah, how are we calling them the worst division in football? They had the Colts last year who basically shit the bed in the last week, but they still had the 1 seed. I mean, the NFC East is the worst division.
Bro, whose phone is on the phone charger?
That's mine. It's my phone. It's my computer.
God damn it, Dante. Get your life together, bro. First you're late. Now your phone's not charged.
Yeah.
All right, let's get into the NFC South. What do we want to start with? Win totals, division winner?
Let's just go through each winner, right? And we can go alphabetically. So start with the Falcons.
All right. Well, let's start with the Falcons.
Wouldn't that be the Bucks?
A for Atlanta. It's like the first letter of the alphabet.
Okay.
Oh, so we're going like by city. Okay, so we'll go with Atlanta. Dante, you could go ahead with Atlanta. Go ahead.
All right, the Atlanta Falcons. Last year, I mean, obviously they lose Matt Ryan. They bring in Mariota, who hasn't really even like had a real playing time since before COVID, which I think is kind of crazy to think about. Last year, their offensive line was really good at run blocking. Like they were one of the best run blocking units in the league. They just had no running back. I mean, Cordell Patterson's like a guy who can get you like 10 carries a game, but you don't want to max him out like that because he has such a value
fantasy god
and receiving as well. Yeah, fantasy god. So they bring in Ty Legier, who played for BYU in college. I think he's an absolute animal. I mean, this guy is like a complete bulldozer. He's got great speed. He played really well in college. He was a 4th-round draft pick, which I thought was a complete steal. I think he's a huge fantasy sleeper this year. I think he's going to be awesome. They also got Mariota, who can run the ball a little bit too. So that offensive line, I think, is going to be really good at running the ball. But passing, I think that's where all their like downfall comes. Their offensive line was not good pass blocking. Their receivers, they lose Russell Gage. They get Drake London, who is very good, but he's still a rookie. Going to take some time for him to develop, gather a rapport with Mariota. It's his first year starting too. So on offense, I don't really love them. I like their rushing attack. I like Legier, but their passing attack really, really stinks. On defense, there's not really much there. I mean, they were really, really bad last year in like every single aspect. They get a couple of guys like Casey Hayward, and they also got Arnold Ebiketie from Penn State, who's a really good, really, really good pass rusher. So they get a couple of pieces who are going to elevate like them in general, but that's not really saying much given how bad they were last year. I have them going 4-13, so right on their total. I don't really see them improving much on defense, despite getting a couple like decent players. And like I said, their offense, their passing offense is going to be really, really bad, and that's going to weigh them down in the long run. So I got the Falcons at 4-13, and last in the division.
Ryan?
Yeah, I saw their win total was 5.5. I don't see how they get to 6 wins, but I'm not really worried about Mariota. I'm just wondering, like, in general, what the fuck are the Falcons doing? Like, their first round pick was head scratching. I thought he was maybe the 5th best receiver in the draft. The rest of their draft wasn't bad. Dante's probably the only person on earth that knows this kid's name from Montana State.
That's what I'm saying.
What's the kid's name? Troy Anderson, the running back, fullback they drafted.
No, I know Aligier. I know
If Dante doesn't know him, he has to be ass.
This dude broke so many records for Montana State, who obviously everybody fucking watches. Just a powerhouse unit of football team.
Bro.
He had like 150 tackles last year, 1,500 rushing yards. This dude is a fucking weapon. I don't know. I just love that pick for some reason. Never heard of the kid, but it's cool. But whatever they are.
Never heard of the kid, but he loves the pick.
That's like
love it.
Bro, because he's like the Division I AA Luke Kuechly, LaDainian Tomlinson combination. If they had a fucking kid, he's just gonna be insanely good. I can already feel it. That you lose Ridley because he's probably like 3 miles away from me, tailing my max bets through back channels somehow.
I like completely disregarded that. I forgot he was on the team.
I can't believe Ridley got suspended for a full year. He got suspended for a full year in less than a week, and Deshaun Watson's got fucking rub and tugs from everyone in the country, and nothing has happened yet.
Bro, the best part is Ridley, the bets that he was like submitting had the Falcons, and he was like their only good offensive player besides Pitts and fucking Cordero. So like,
yeah,
he's got so much faith in his boys that he's throwing them in the parlays and the teasers, and they're out there getting their asses whooped every week. Like, God, he's a real one. I hope the Eagles fucking sign him or trade for him, whatever they'd have to do at this point. But yeah, Falcons under 5.5 wins. I think it's like even money. That's the only bet I could come up with for this team. And Ritter to take over at like week 8, week 9.
I'm on board with that. I think he's gonna be a dog.
It's kind of wild, though. He ran the fastest 40 out of any quarterback. And it's like everyone talks about Mariota's rushing ability. It's like Ritter can do the exact same thing, and he's probably
Ritter's nice.
He's like a non-hate mongering version of Colin Kaepernick when he was good.
Like, I really think he's the best quarterback in the draft class. Like I might be sleeping on the other guys, but I think he is the best quarterback out of this draft class, or will have the best career at least. He's like the most solid. I think. Like there's other guys that have a really high ceiling and a really low floor, but I think Ritter is definitely like the most NFL ready quarterback out of all the guys.
Bobby, what do you think?
I mean, I'm with you guys. I don't see much in the Falcons. I'm happy because I used to have a weird addiction where every week I'd look at the lines and the Falcons line for whatever reason would just stick out to me like, yo, I'm betting the Falcons this week. Like, I'm just going to do it to myself again. But I don't think I'm going to have that problem anymore with Mariota at quarterback. I do think Kyle Pitts is going to be a monster. I was trying to look for some player like totals because I think Kyle Pitts is going to be great. And in the same token, I would bet unders on Patterson. I don't think he's going to do what he did last year. I think it was a bit of an anomaly. They were great run blocking like Dante highlighted, but I mean, Cordell Patterson's been in the league for a while, played for the Vikings, whatever, and all of a sudden he had this 1 year. I just don't see that lasting. Seems like a one-hit wonder to me. I would bet they're under. Say that again?
Interrupting you. So the thing that really stuck out to me with Patterson was how nobody really knew what to expect. Like it was so hard for teams to scout for him. And once they saw him play like 4 or 5 games and did what he did regress slightly. So what you're saying is like completely right, because when teams just catch on to it and start scouting for it, it makes it so much tougher.
Yeah, no, 100%. I agree. And I would take their win total under for that reason, 5.5. I saw 5 and I was thinking to myself, if you take that, you're either pushing or winning. 5.5. I love that even more. I mean, I was looking at their schedule and they'll probably beat Carolina once. They'll probably beat Seattle, who I think is going to be the worst team in the league. And they'll probably beat Chicago, maybe. So that's 3. Other than that, I can't formulate many other wins for them. So under 5.5 seems like a great play for me. That would be my best bet for the Falcons.
I think the Falcons might win the division.
5.5 at. I saw 4.5 like everywhere.
The Falcons won't even be the best football team in their state next year. Give me the
Why not us? Why not us? Why can't the Falcons win the division?
Lack of
They have Kyle
talent.
Pitts.
I mean, everything about their defense, just
Kyle
everything.
Pitts will have 130 targets.
You're telling me you would rather have
More.
Brady over Mariota right now?
Yeah, crazy, right?
Dante, do you
obviously,
still
I'm not
stand
gonna-
by the fact that Mariota is better than Tua? You think he's the
I
best
was
Hawaiian
low-key
quarterback in
playing
the
with you
league?
guys, 'cause they're both
Okay.
Hawaiian, and Mariota was like my
I'm
favorite.
not entertaining
college
that
player.
stupid ass
So,
I just had to
conversation.
make
We're
sure.
Yeah,
not
I'm not
wasting
going
time
to
on that.
entertain that anymore. But like, I was playing with you guys. Like, I love Mariota, like in college and stuff like that. So I have like he has this warm place in my heart. But I mean, now, he's finished. Like, he's
I
done.
just had to make sure.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
got you.
me too. Obviously, I think the Falcons are buns. I'm not going to sit here and elaborate and give you the full 22 breakdown. The team's ass. Their win total is 5 for a reason. They're horrendous. All right, on to the Carolina Panthers. This is my sleeper team. I love the Panthers every single year. I think Baker Mayfield is a huge upgrade. If he could play with all 4 of his limbs, like pertaining to both his arms and both his legs, I don't think he's a dog shit quarterback. I don't think he's an elite quarterback, but I think he's good enough to, not mess up enough to lose you games. I think he could help you win games. And I love JC Horn on their defense. They got a great young defensive core over there. Matt Rule is obviously still a question mark, but I mean, at the same time, you're not going to look like a great head coach when you have Sam Darnold as your quarterback. I would not sleep on the Carolina Panthers. I still think they're a couple of years away from getting to where they want to be, but I don't think they're as ass as everyone makes them to be. I think they're a much better football team than the Atlanta Falcons.
Yeah, I don't disagree with you there at all. I'd say they're definitely better than the Falcons, but I don't know how this team makes a jump. Matt Rule is probably on the hot seat. The only bet I could come up with for this team was Matt Rule stealing Bobby's bet from last week to be the first head coach fired. I'd imagine he's somewhere like high towards the odds.
Yeah, he is.
Is he?
He's like top 3, top 5, somewhere in there.
Yeah, I think last week when you said it, I was trying to think and nothing came to my mind, but he has to be. I know that the fans fucking were going crazy to fire him off in the offseason. You lose Gilmore, but you get Horn back. I think Horn is a dog. I'm right there with Smoke.
Best corner in the draft. He was the best corner in his draft.
I'm not saying a lot because Surtain is nasty too.
He is.
And they added a receiver from the Browns also. Who was it? Higgins? Rashard Higgins.
Start though. I like how he's going with Baker, but like.
But DJ Moore, Robbie Anderson, Higgins, like he's not
Christian
a bad
McCaffrey,
guy.
Chuba Hubbard.
They're saying Terrence Marshall is going to still start, which I completely.
Terrence Marshall's not terrible.
No, he is terrible.
No.
Wide receiver 3?
That was awful.
Yeah.
Like he had like one of the worst rookie campaigns out of any receiver last year.
Yeah, but I mean, look who's throwing him the ball. Who's throwing him the ball? PJ Walker?
Yeah.
Come on, Temple's finest, but come on.
PJ Walker was dope.
Wasn't he like an XFL god?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I mean, come on. Like, I can't blame any of those receivers. DJ Moore is still a dog too. Like, at least for fantasy perspective, he's a good player.
Give me more. Give me more.
Right there.
I don't know what to make of the Panthers personally. I mean, obviously the biggest change at quarterback, we all assume Baker's going to start. I don't know what to make of Baker at this point. It's not a win total. I mean, I saw 6.5, which seemed kind of low for me for what I was thinking of the Panthers. But I don't want to wager my money on the Panthers and Baker Mayfield and whatever the hell they have going on. So for me, it's just a pass, and we'll see what the Panthers do. If they get off to a slow start, I definitely think that Rule will be fired, like Field just said.
Smoke's got the blue guys.
So that's what I'm worried
Love
about.
to see it.
I really
Classic leaves.
Like I think in the long run, Matt Rule could be a solid coach, but the beginning of their schedule is a gauntlet. Like there's a good chance they start the season like 1-6, that type of record, and he gets the can early. But in the long run, I think the Panthers are going to be good. I mean, they drafted Ike Ekwonu, who is my favorite player in the entire draft. That's a home run in my opinion. They get Bradley Bozeman and Austin Corbett, who are both like solid offensive linemen. So they built up front, which I like to see for a team that's rebuilding. They also get Baker. But the thing is, though, like even if all these offensive linemen that they added meet their expectation for 2022, they're still not going to be as good as any of Baker's offensive lines from Cleveland. So therefore, he's going to be under pressure a lot. And that's where he really struggled over the last 2 seasons. Had a PFF passing grade under 40 over the last 2 seasons while under pressure. So that's obviously really, really bad. I think he's going to be under pressure a lot this year. And obviously coming off that injury, it's going to be tough to see how he plays. The receiving core, I think, is one of the worst in the NFL. I really, really like DJ Moore. I think he's awesome, really underrated. But outside of him, I mean, Robbie Anderson is nothing other than a glorified a deep threat, they say, yo, Robbie, run, see if you could burn the safety, and maybe we'll get you the ball because he's a terrible route runner. C-Mac is obviously really good when you get him touches, but can't really count on him being 100% all the time. The defense still really young. I think J.C. Horn, Jeremy Chin, and C.J. Henderson are all under 25. So I think they're going to improve a little bit, but they're still very inexperienced, very young. Even their front seven's really young. Derek Brown's still, like I said, really, really young. So this is a team that's just going to keep on getting better and better. But for this year, I don't really see it happening. I have them at 7-10. I had their floor at 4-13 and ceiling at 9-8. But I think a name you need to remember is Frankie Louvu, undrafted defensive end a couple years ago out of Washington State, played for the Jets, had a couple like really, really good games last year, had a really good pass rushing PFF grade despite not getting a lot of reps. He's going to start this year. They gave him a little bit of a nice contract. So Frankie Louvu, look out for him. He's going to have a breakout season.
Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
he's nasty.
You're a beast.
Yeah.
Do we think Matt Corral ever plays for them?
No.
Yeah.
When does he come back? How hurt was he? Like, is he ready to go? Is he missing
It was
training
like an
camp?
ACL. Like, it was bad.
Yeah, so if he's missing training camp, that's tough to throw him in, especially over 2 top 5 picks.
Right. No, I was just curious because I saw obviously they drafted him 3rd round. I was just wondering. It obviously changed now that they got Baker. I feel like they probably would have tried to work him in with just Sam Darnold, but Baker to be in there kind of changes things.
Yeah, is it? I
And then,
don't even know.
like
if
Bobby was
it's a thing.
saying with like the first head coach fired bet, it's funny how like we all had the exact same read on that. Like because I had no idea who number 1 would be, and then I started looking at the Panthers. I was like, damn, Matt Rule's got to be the favorite for that bet. I thought that was kind of funny. We all thought of that, but I mean, their schedule's a gauntlet. Like I think their first 7 weeks is got to be tougher than anyone else in the league.
Nah, but look, I don't know if this is possible. Like live betting week by week over unders, because this team is starting 2-0. You're playing the Deshaun Watson-less Cleveland Browns, and you're playing the
The Browns are better than them with fucking Brissett.
Yeah, that offensive line, that running attack.
I think the line is overrated.
Yeah.
Fuck them. Who's their starting quarterback?
Doesn't matter, bro. Jacoby
Brissett.
Brissett beat the Kansas City
Brissett's
Chiefs on Sunday Night
bad.
Football the year
Who?
they won the championship.
Jacoby Brissett.
Y'all hear that?
He can do
Jacoby
it.
Brissett. He's winning an NFL game this year, week 1.
He
Oh,
can do
okay.
it.
Yeah, no.
Bro, Jacoby's not bad. The Dolphins' offensive line was disgusting.
Nah,
I mean, Jacoby
Jacoby's
was
bad,
bad.
bro.
Don't get me wrong, but I think
I
he
don't
could win
know.
a game with the Cleveland Browns.
I don't know. You give
Anyway,
me-
it doesn't matter. Let's talk about the New Orleans Saints. We're going down to NOLA. We're going down to Bourbon Street. Get the titties out. Get the beads out. This has to be your guys' sleeper team because there's no way you took the Panthers. There's no way you took the Falcons. Famous James out here eating fucking W's. Chris Olave, dog. Michael Thomas, if he plays a whole year, dog. Alvin
Garbage.
Kamara, dog. Melvin
Garbage.
Ingram, the first 6 weeks. Let me stop speaking. We all in the
Melvin.
same league, dog. We all in the same league now, man. Dog. Jarvis Landry, dog.
Yeah.
Tyrann Mathieu back home, dog. Lattimore, dog. Cam Davis, dog. They got some dogs over there, bro. And they
do.
always have the Bucks number. They always have the Bucks number. The Bucks
I think 4
at
straight.
New Orleans. Yeah.
I think they got
They've
4
always
straight
been
on the
in regular
Bucks.
season.
In my opinion, if they get swept by the Bucks this year, they still hit their win over. So that's just my take on it.
There's the spoiler. I think the Saints are gonna be really good. Look, Bobby loves Jameis because he just sits there and slings the ball. But if he doesn't throw 30 interceptions, I think this team could be really, really good. And it's funny because, I mean, Bobby wasn't like here last year, like with the football stuff. But Dante last year, the Saints are gonna be so bad. They have no money.
Nuh-uh.
They're gonna be in debt.
There isn't.
They're going to be the worst team of all time. Like, what are they doing?
Yeah,
And
because
now
they win
I
that.
bet you $100 that's his dark horse.
And then,
I'll bet you
they got,
anything
and then
that's
they
his
got
dark horse.
Jameis. And there's an article on the Smoke Sports website. It's Fantasy Sleepers. And
Pull up
Jameis
the
was the
receipts.
number 1 player. And then he got
No,
injured.
I'll go back and find the podcast episode, and Dante's like, bro, they're
And I'll
going
tell
to
you
be
the article that
bankrupt.
was written after where I said Jameis was going to have the best season of his career. And he was before the injury. So take
He
that.
was.
to the bank.
I had an MVP ticket that I had to look at in my open wagers all year long when Jameis got hurt. That one hurt. And I
So
kind of
bad.
want to run it back on
MVP,
Jameis.
He was MVP front runner for 2 weeks.
Yeah, he was going to do it. He was. But Smoke, to your point where you said if Jameis doesn't throw all the interceptions, I mean, he played 7 games last year, went 5-2, 14 touchdowns, 3 picks. I know that's a really small sample size, but I mean, that's good numbers from
Hey, that's
Jameis.
talking shit.
You know what I'm
7
saying?
games, though, is
That boy was
I think
talking.
it's reasonable. Like I think 7 games is reasonable for him to carry over and do the exact same thing this year.
That's
That
what I'm
was the big
saying.
thing with that. I mean,
not the same
Damn,
thing. He's
Jameis
definitely
got-
going to regress a little
I
bit.
don't know about that.
Cooking.
14-2 and
With that receiving core, bro, look at how bad their receiving core was last year. They get 3 guys that were better than anyone they had on their
Studs.
3
Studs.
Is Michael Thomas
Is
playing?
Michael Thomas healthy? Like, is he going to suit
Yeah.
up week 1
Yeah.
if he makes it through training
Well,
camp and all that other shit?
He will play.
You know who
think-
might not be there week 1 though is Kamara. I think he's
Kamara.
about to get suspended, right?
He's not. He's out for 6 weeks. Assaulted battery.
He got 6.
Yeah.
I mean, I think he's the best player on that team for sure. In my opinion.
I'd hope so.
On offense,
So,
at least.
at
For sure.
least.
On offense,
Well,
yeah.
you lose the safety Williams.
They lost both their safeties, Williams and.
Well, they got
and
the best
Marcus
receiver in the
Williams.
draft.
Well, then
Marcus
They had the
Williams.
best receiver in the draft.
Listen, Marcus Williams, that's my boy. He went to the school behind me
Marcus
right
was a
there.
beast.
That's my dog. But they did add like 2 ballers. They got the Honey Badger
Marcus
and they got
May.
Marcus May, who
Yep.
was an absolute stud. He was like the only good player on the Jets for like 3 years. I think I saw a stat. He didn't give up more than a touchdown, or he didn't give up multiple touchdowns in 3 of his 5 seasons playing for the goddamn Jets. I mean, this kid is an absolute stud, one of the most underrated players, not even at the position in the NFL. It was such a great addition.
No,
I
he's
think their
definitely
safety room is still awesome.
Yeah. The thing I'm looking at though, like if you're taking this team, you got to take them to either just flat out make the playoffs or just take their win total because they're not going to win this division. They're just not. They're plus 450, and that's not even a good line to me. Like if I'm betting against Brady in a division, I need 2 of 3 things: a solid, like a great coach, a great quarterback, or a great overall roster. And they at best just have a great roster. Like, I don't know anything about Dennis
Fair.
Allen. I know he's defensive minded, but like, I don't even love Sean Payton. You win 1 ring with a top 5 quarterback all time.
I don't even think he's there anymore, though. Isn't he
I'm saying though,
retired?
so like, I don't think it's like a huge drop off, but maybe from like inside the building type of standpoint, like things that we don't see. But like offensively, I'm not worried about the Saints if they're healthy. You
I'm
know,
not worried about them in
Right.
any way, shape, or form. I've always been a big hire from the inside guy, and that's exactly what they did. I love the move. They kept their old offensive coordinator, keeping the system the same. I absolutely love it. I mean, obviously their wide receiver room got a lot better. Olave is the best route runner we've seen from a college prospect that I can remember. I mean, he keeps every DB on his toes. He watches film against Oregon. The week before, he's burning guys deep all the time. Against Oregon, he's running 20-yard comeback routes. Just complete an absolute animal when it comes to the route tree. He's a student of the game. Fantastic player. Offensive line's a little bit shaky. That's where the question marks are, but I think they'll be fine. I mean, they got such great playmakers on offense. It won't really be that much of an issue. And their defense, honestly, I think might be the best in the NFL. Defensive line is for sure. I don't really think it's that much of an argument. I think Marcus Davenport, what's his face? Cameron
Jordan.
and they also got Shy Tuttle.
I called
and
him Cam Davis. I was thinking about golf earlier.
Yeah, I know. You had me messed up when you said his name, and I was like, oh, shoot. But no.
I didn't even notice.
Marcus Davenport, Shy Tuttle, David Onyemata, all fantastic players, like just great in every aspect. Like I said, I mentioned Marcus May earlier, and both their corners, they returned both of them. This defense is absolutely stellar, one of the best in the NFL, arguably the best, in my opinion, probably top 3. I think that's what I look for most when I look for a team to take like a win total over is how good their defense is, because in my opinion, that projects the best towards like a longevity of a season. Their defense is awesome. I love their win total. I have them at 10-7. I think their ceiling's 12-5, and the floor is like 7-10. That's the absolute worst, though.
They won 9 games with no quarterback last year. They're not going to win less than 8 games this year.
I agree.
I don't see it. But
So-
one important thing, we are done having to see fucking Sean Payton force Taysom Hill into playing quarterback. I'm so fucking happy because that's
True.
like it's like eye cancer. And they actually have like a quarterback that if Jameis does get hurt, I mean Andy Dalton blows, but like he's so much better than Taysom Hill at any aspect besides running. So I don't know how they don't win 8 games. One of my
Taysom
favorite
Hill
win totals.
on a team.
Taysom Hill's their backup tight end. They
Oh,
got
he's on
the
team.
dude from
Because I was gonna say it was absolutely a pain in the eye whenever like you'd place me in fantasy and they'd be starting him at like tight end.
yeah.
That was I hate that so much. I'm glad. it's over.
Taysom Hill.
So I have a question. So I definitely want to bet the Saints. 100% want to bet the Saints. But which of these 3 would you think is the best bet? You can bet Saints win total at 8, bet over, and you're laying 135. You can bet Saints to have a winning record at plus 110, or you can bet Saints to make the playoffs at plus 125.
Make the
I
playoffs.
think you're best off with winning record, no, because you have to go 9-8 or 8-9.
Yeah, but then you can't get the push.
No, if they go
You
8-9,
can't
they
push.
Yeah, you can't push.
I kind of like
Win
it's
you can't
one of those 2. It's either that or just over 8.
I like the playoffs bet. I mean, I think 7 seeds is beautiful for them to get in.
But look, last year they were what 9 and 7, and they didn't make the extra wild card. So
yeah, but I mean, they were tied for the extra wild card, so they got kind of unlucky. I mean, they do that again, probably get in.
They lost on the technicality bullshit, and this year they actually have a quarterback that's not fucking Taysom Hill.
Okay.
What was the other thing I was thinking about them? Their strength of schedule, either theirs or the Bucks. I don't remember off the top of my head. It's like the second or third worst in the NFL. So, but
I mean, I'm looking at it right now. It's terrible.
Like brutal to play.
No, easy.
Oh, easy. Okay, then it's the Bucks. But like 8 wins, you've got one of the best home field advantages in the NFL. Like, I don't know. It just seems like it to me. It's one of my favorite win totals of the season. That
they play a lot of ass teams.
Like, I've only looked at what we did last week and this one, and this is by far
playing the Eagles in Philly on New Year's is as free as it comes.
That's one where you rest the starters because you have no chance. Yeah, come on.
All right, let's talk about the Bucks. I mean, we don't have to sit here and slob Tom all day. I think they're obviously the most complete team in this division from top to bottom, defensively, wide receivers, weapons, quarterback, offensive line. No Bruce Arians this year, but as Dante mentioned, they did hire within house, so that'll be a pretty good thing. They don't have to change too much up. I think the Bucks win the division. If you guys want to go ahead and elaborate offseason moves, by all means, go for it, and then we'll get into best bet for the division.
There were only 2 offseason moves that stuck out to me, or actually 3. Russell Gage kind of, but not as much as the other 2. But they traded for Shaq Mason, who has a rapport with Tom Brady, one of the best run blockers in the NFL. And last season, run blocking was the only category they weren't like top 10 in the league in. So that's going to bolster him in the top 10, I think. I mean, that's one of the best run blocking offensive linemen out there. And he's also an established pass blocker as well. So can't really go wrong with that. And Akeem Hicks, just another big body. Him and Vita Vea next to each other is not a sight I'd want to see if I'm an opposing offensive lineman or running back or quarterback. I mean, that's just gnarly. I think Joe Tryon, their first round pick from a couple of years back, is going to have a really good season. He's a real lanky kid. He's just an absolute stud. He kind of wasn't that good last year because he was kind of one of those like raw talent prospects. But he got a year to get used to the speed of the NFL. I think next year is his breakout year. So look out for Joe Tryon. And like we were saying, I mean, their weapons are just fantastic. Obviously, you got Tom Brady. I mean, they're awesome. So Bucks are going to win the division. It's like minus 350. Obviously, no one's laying juice on that, but I don't really see any way they don't.
Real quick, I think Waddle has a point. It's not easy. I don't think the Saints schedule is that easy.
I went back and I misspoke. It's definitely not easy, but it's not terrible.
The Bengals are tough. The Cardinals are tough. The Raiders are tough. The Ravens are tough. The Steelers are tough. The Rams are tough. The Niners are tough. The Browns late in the season are tough. And the Eagles late in the season are tough. That's 11 tough-ass games.
There you go. I'll walk you through their schedule personally. Their first 3 games, Falcons, Bucks, Falcons, Bucks, Panthers. At worst, they go 2-1 there. Vikings at home, Seahawks at home. Vikings at home, Seahawks at home. That's 2 easy wins. Bengals at home.
Dude, the Vikings are not like some joke.
Yeah, they are. Yes,
1 o'clock Vikings. It's in London.
Yeah, that's primetime Kirk then.
Yeah, I mean, exactly. That's perfect. Even better.
That's not primetime Kirk. That's fresh out the bed Kirk.
Yeah, that's breakfast.
Primetime in London, though.
Breakfast Kirk could be different.
Breakfast Kirk is tough.
But then you got Bengals at home, I think, is a win, but it's a toss-up game. At Cardinals is a loss for sure.
Are they just never going to lose at home? They're just going to sweep the whole league at home?
Let's see. Yeah.
They're not going. They're going to drop one game, but it's not an easy place to go and win.
Maybe they lose to the Bucks.
Obviously not.
Too, but I mean, other than that, I don't see them losing a home game.
I still like the win total. I'm just saying, like looking at the schedule, I don't think it's a breeze.
Oh, you know what? Maybe
you know what? The
only game I was considering them losing at home was the Ravens, but their run defense is so damn good. I just don't see that being a possibility.
We'll see.
We'll see. All right, let's get into some bets. Let's get into some fucking bets. All right, who are we taking to win the division? I'm not laying minus.
Real quick, we got to go back to the Bucks because I mean I think that they lost a decent bit though too, didn't they?
Who?
Receivers,
I mean they lost
both
their
Marpet.
They lost Eli Marpet and Alex Kappa, so they got Shaq Mason, but they lost both their 2 starting guards.
The backup's decent though. What's his name?
Okay, Gronk retired. OJ Howard's gone. the what's his name's coming off an injury. Like I don't think the
OJ
Bucks
Howard's gone.
OJ
Howard's
Howard
gone.
Bro, you even play. That guy
and
sucks.
Jason Pierre-Paul's
back me up.
gone, and Ndamukong Suh's gone. So like,
I mean, you got Akeem Hicks. You still have Vita
I'm
Vea.
sizing the Bucks, bro. I would not bet them to win the Super Bowl. I think they win 12 games max. So I wouldn't bet their win total, but I would lean towards the under on their win total. I really will. At some point, Tom Brady is gonna not be like the golden god of the world and do everything perfectly. At some point, it's gonna happen.
He's the opposite of the guy on your hat. Like, you love Tiger, and Tiger would have been the GOAT if he wasn't addicted to cheating on his wife and fucking driving off painkillers and shit. Tom Brady doesn't do that. Tom Brady does pliability. He's not falling off. He's the Don.
I wish I knew how to remove you so I could get rid of that Tiger slander, bro. We don't talk negatively about Tiger Woods, and not in my presence, bro.
The underrated point that nobody's said yet, like, okay, you go into a room and you're looking to figure out shit about football, and there's Tom Brady and there's Bruce Arians. Who are you listening to?
Come on, man. That's too easy.
Come on. There's maybe two coaches, Andy Reid, Belichick, off the top of my head, that I would listen to and consider what they said.
Mike McDaniel.
No, Mike McDaniel.
He's a Shanahan guy, so I can get with that.
I think
Sean McVay.
No, Sean McVay.
Kyle Shanahan.
Yes.
He's all right.
Yes.
Not over Tom Brady. I don't give a shit.
What about Urban Meyer?
Yeah.
Maybe him and Joe Judge. Him and Joe Judge. But I think Arians could have been holding the offense back, at least Brady-wise. Like, I think I would much rather have Brady running the show. I don't give a shit.
I agree.
He is running the show.
I mean, I think he's been running the show.
Yeah, but I don't – well, maybe. I don't know. It sounded good.
It's like LeBron.
More power to Brady. Sign me up. Russell Gage, over everything. Who knows when Godwin's coming back? Give me the over receptions, over yards, over touchdowns, over fucking sleepovers at Tom's crib because he becomes his new best friend. I need all that. Russell Gage is not a scrub. He just looked like a scrub.
Nah, he's a dog.
Nah, yeah, he's going to ball out. Lenny is back. You re-signed who on the defense?
Godwin.
Oh, yeah, Godwin came. Well, Godwin's not playing for at least like 6-7 weeks, I'm guessing.
Probably. Yeah.
Really?
Then he
towards ACL week 15.
So give me 9 months from then. I don't know what it is, but yeah, nobody in this division is winning besides the Bucks. If you are not an idiot and not a pussy, you'll lay minus 280. It's not that bad.
It is bad. Yes, it is.
No, it's not. It's not. It's not. If you can parlay division winners, put it in for me. Put it in for you. Put it in for
That's
my
the mushiest
girl,
thing I've ever heard.
I don't give a shit.
Division
The
winners,
Packers and the Bucks.
280.
The Packers and the Bucks are winning their division. If you disagree, you can take my action. Set the fucking odds. That's pretty much it for me, though.
Fields,
oh, and fuck Gronk and OJ Howard. They got a stud, at least blocker tight end in Otten. That's all I know about him.
No, he's lit. He's the Washington kid, right? Yeah, he's lit. I love that kid.
That kid's
stud blocking tight end.
Nah, I wouldn't call him that, bro. He can size up. He can catch those 50-50s. He's nice.
Nah, he's not buns. I remember asking Dante about that kid in the middle of the year. Dante was like, nah, he's real.
Nah, he was like the only guy who can even catch a football in Washington last year. Like, they were so bad. And he was like the only – I felt so bad. Get this guy in Utah and we'd be like the best team ever, bro.
That's
we need some corners.
Fucking heard. All right, let's get into the bets. So obviously, no one's laying minus 280 unless you're Field. No one's realistically going to take the Saints. Let's get into some win totals. I'm looking at FanDuel. The Saints are over under 8.5. So I don't know what fugazi ass lines you guys are pulling out of your ass, but
I got 8 on DraftKings.
8 on Bovado too.
Shop your books. Shop your books. That's all I have to say, gentlemen. So if you find 8, we'll settle with 8. If you guys want to be frauds, that's straight. I'll take the Saints over 8 wins. You guys sold me. There's really nothing else I have to say. I would rather drink bleach than sit there and sweat the Atlanta Falcons. I already get forced into betting them at least 8 weeks out of the year. Whether Matt Ryan's the quarterback or Cordell Patterson is running the Wildcat, it doesn't matter. I always find myself betting the Falcons -3 at home at least 6 times a year. So I already get enough of my action on them. I'm not going to sit here and commit to 18 weeks of the Atlanta Falcons. No thanks. I'm kind of with Bobby, though. I mean, I'm looking at Tampa's total. 11.5 is kind of a stretch. Like, I think this team could win 11 games and win the division comfortably. I think the Saints, at best, win 10 games. I would lean under. I would lean under 11.5. If you could find 12, I would grab that too. Because with all that they did lose, I didn't think they lost that much. But 12 wins is tough, man. I don't see it happening. So I'll take the over on the Saints 8, and I'll take the under on the Bucks 11.5. Bobby?
Yeah, I mean, you want to talk about tough first 4 games to start your season. The Buccaneers have to go to Dallas, to New Orleans, where they haven't won in 2 years, home versus the Packers, home versus Kansas City. That's a gauntlet to start out your year. And Tom Brady is one of those guys I feel like isn't in like full form until the season gets near the end and he has to win games. So I'm sold at this point on under for the Buccaneers. Whether I actually go place that bet, that's a scary sight, betting against Tom Brady. It doesn't usually go well for you. So definitely a lean to the under. I don't know if I make it to actually bet that. I will be betting the Saints, and I think I'm going to end up betting the Saints to make the playoffs at plus 125. I think the NFC is weak. I think the Saints are good. Solid year last year at 9-8. You bring back Jameis, who I'm super high on. I think the Saints are going to be one of the teams that really shocked the NFL this year. Like I said, Panthers, I'm just staying away. I'll wait and see what goes on with them. And Falcons, I definitely lean to the under on the Falcons. I think they could be the worst team in football when it's all said and done. I really wouldn't be surprised. And like you guys said, Mariota's not the real deal. It's going to be Ritter by like week 6, 7, somewhere around there. So those are my plays. Saints the strongest, though. That's my go-to.
So for me, I mentioned the last podcast where I said Sky Moore Rookie of the Year, but if he's not going to win it, I can think of if an offensive lineman could win it, Ike Ekwonu is winning the Rookie of the Year. But I mean, that's not true. That's just not going to happen. But Chris Olave, I could see doing it. I could also see Tyler Algier doing it. So those are 2 other like possible like little sprinkle bets. Saints making the playoffs, yes. Saints win over, yes. And I honestly didn't look at the Bucs schedule at all. You guys kind of got me at the wrong moment. I was like in the middle of doing my homework on them when I had to hop on this. So I didn't even get to look at their schedule. I didn't get that opportunity. And now that I did, I will be betting the Saints to win the division. I really will be.
Let's go.
Yeah. You guys got me sold. I'm
Fantastic.
So Jameis
You sold yourself, pal.
Jameis had his highest big time throw percentage last year, lowest turnover worthy pass percentage. I think that 1 year behind Drew Brees really, really caught him and really made him mature as a quarterback and get him ready for the rest of his career. Like I was saying, I mean, Justin, he didn't even get drafted.
Justin,
that guy's like a walking injury, but yeah, whatever. Like I was saying, Jameis, I think I'm all sold on him. Their offensive line's a little bit shaky, but their defense is just so damn good. I think Jameis is going to be able to keep the ball out of trouble. Those receivers are really good, and when Kamara comes back, I mean, it's game over. So give me the Saints to win the division and everything Saints, and probably like nothing else. I don't hate the Falcons like that much. I don't love the Panthers that much, and the Buccaneers, their schedule is just a gauntlet.
Panthers under 6, Saints over 8. Matt Rule, first head coach to be fired. Every over on Russell Gage props, touchdowns, everything you could find. And also the kind of shit that I look for deep in the fucking dumpster. We're going to count on Chuba Hubbard to get some touches this year. Take the overs. He's going to start at least 3 or 4 games minimum. So, yeah, go find him. Stash him in fantasy. Whatever you got to do.
I like that.
All right, let's get into our fun prop bets. Chris Olave, Rookie of the Year. Thanks. That's what I'm going with. Comeback Player of the Year, J.C. Horton, plus 10,000. Comb your hair, take care. Christian McCaffrey, Comeback Player of the Year, plus 700. Comb your hair, take care. Those are my 3.
I don't have a ton. I wasn't able to find a ton of lines to go through. The one thing I did like, though, was Cordell Patterson unders and then Kyle Pitts overs. But if you guys want a free bet that you can cash this week, I'll give it to you now, special just for you. Run to your bookmaker. Don't walk. This is an emergency. Matthew Fitzpatrick, top 20. It's still even money. 12 of the last 15 weeks, it's cashed. If you're listening to me say this and you're not placing that at your local sports book, I'm sorry. I don't know what to tell you. You're just dumb.
I love it.
Thank you. Smoking Greens tomorrow, 7 p.m. Ryan, what do you got?
I just went over all mine. Russell Gage, Chuba Hubbard.
Okay, cool. Next, Dante.
Algier over everything possible, over carries, over yards, over touchdowns. He's a dog. He's gonna ball.
He's a dog. He's gonna ball.
That means
That's
a
all
lot.
we got.
You're saying that. That means a lot because you hate that team's fucking.
I hate that school so much, but that guy's earned my respect so much. I mean, he's just that. He's that guy. He really is. I mean, BYU's put some solid backs in the league too, like guys that weren't even good in college, but kind of exploded in the league. Like Jamal Williams was not even that good in college. He's had a couple like good performances in the NFL. So they know how to breed guys in the NFL. They know how to make them stay. And I think Elijah Jair is the best running back they've had ever. Honestly, in my opinion, I can't think of anyone that's been that good. He's going to a team with a great
name your top 5 BYU running backs. Smoke, go.
Jesus, dude, I can't name 3.
I can't name 2.
Could you name a BYU?
I can't name 1.
Could you name a BYU quarterback?
Yeah, really Zach Wilson. We should have talked about him.
No, the other one. No, the other one. There's one that played like way back when who was like super, super good. You probably didn't even know he played for BYU.
No.
LeBron James. Derek Carr. No, he went to Fresno.
Steve Young.
Who?
Steve
Young didn't go there.
They won the national championship.
Steve Young a Mormon?
Yeah, he's Mormon. He's a full Utah guy.
Steve Young went to Texas.
What is
that's Vince Young. That's Vince Young.
Jesus.
The same guy.
Wrong color, bro.
I didn't know there was a Steve Young.
No, they look alike.
Is that his dad?
What do you mean you didn't know there was a Steve Young?
What? You don't know
Dude,
Steve
I'm
Young?
fried as a bat. Oh, the lefty. Dude, I'm fried.
Yeah,
you're like way long ago. I'm thinking like 2005, like 2003. I'm completely lost. All right, let's just wrap it up.
I say on that note.
Yeah, once Dante gets into like.
All right, I support Zach Wilson. We're gonna close on that. I'm a fried bat. Good night.
Thanks. I respect him a little more than I did, which my respect for him was at 0.
I don't even know how to hit end broadcast. Stick with me, guys.
He's lit.
Got it.
If you're
We're done.